Good morning. I'm listening to the sounds of nature outside. The crow calling. I love it. They're very territorial animals. And ironically will run out other birds and other animals to protect their space, to create that territory that only they feel they deserve to have. Which is an interesting combination to what it was, the theme that came up in my morning practice. That, we're in a new year. We want to start anew, do things differently, not try to recreate the past or the old, but to step into the unknown means to also relinquish all that you have known or expect could possibly happen again in your future. I know for my personal experience, in my family, for example, I have wanted to help. I've wanted to make others feel better. And I realized over time through all of my own personal teachings and workshops and courses and own personal internal work that it's not my job to try to help or to fix or to make things better. I can only do me and they can only do them. I can only show up as myself in the best version that I can and give them permission to do the same instead of holding in my mind the worst case scenario of what they have been and maybe what they have done. If I keep them there, I'm basically keeping shackles on them and myself. And how can we grow and move into the new if we're still living in the past? So this was coming through because it seems to be a very prevalent theme. Like a lot of people that I'm seeing around me, maybe even myself, to where you want to start fresh, and then in the back of the subconscious, maybe you hear this voice that says, I can't do this because that person's doing that and it's hindering me. That's just an excuse. That's not the reality. We say things that we don't even realize or listen to within ourselves, and sometimes verbally. I have been guilty of this, being dependent upon a choice or an action or what somebody else's behavior is. That doesn't dictate my happiness. And just because maybe we're slowed down, I know if I've learned that if I'm slowed down in my life, if an obstacle appears or a challenge, or maybe things don't work out the way I want them to, I'm not upset about the situation. I'm upset about with my feelings about the situation. So other people don't give me those feelings. It's me who creates that within me based on this idea of how I want it to be. And it's not my place to expect someone to make me feel better by doing something different. If I can't be happy with myself, then nobody else outside of me is going to be able to make me happy. That's all temporary. The external conditions are temporary fixes to the internal stuff we're unwilling to look at. So when I look at my stuff and I realize, oh my gosh, I'm not happy, I don't want to look outside of myself and go, it's because of that person. All that is an excuse and a distraction, and one pointing finger out means you got three fingers pointing back. All that goes back to me. I can't expect someone else to show up to me the way I claim to need and want them to if I'm unwilling to do the same as well. Most people, I know for myself, I've turned around and expected someone to do something to make me more comfortable. But was I willing to also do the same in return? I mean, that's very egotistical, isn't it? Or narcissistic. Do for me, but I won't do for you. We talk about relationship and people compromising, and oh, that's a dirty word. In reality, it's, are you willing to extend joy and happiness? If you do something, do it in joy, do it in happiness, do it out of love, because the person will be even more enamored with you and loved by you, because that's a loving act. not because your expectation is it will make them happy. That in itself is a failure in itself, because you can't dictate your actions and behaviors to create happiness for another, nor can another do the same for you and expect you to be happy. We have to find happiness within. And if we're in that happiness space of ourselves, everything else is just gravy, baby. It's like the sweet nectar adding to the sweetness of you. So that is what dropped in for me today, is just that whole reflection upon, do you expect people around you and circumstances to meet you where you need them to? Or are you willing to show up and find that balance, that neutrality, that happiness within, and allow them to meet you there? Because we're all in our own space. We can't go extending outside of what we're not. We have to just be. And only you can do you, and only others can do them. So you be you, right? And that's the only way to be true. I even have a mantra that dropped in just a minute before we press the play button. I am love, I am light, and I am shining bright. Say this 3 to 5 times before you go out. Make it the way you start your day, that if you are love and you are light and you are shining bright from the inside out, then you allow others to show up to you, and they will see your radiance, feel your joy, your happiness. If you can come in with that space of love and light and shine that bright. So whatever's inside, we can spread like confetti and create an amazing day. It's just a choice. You can be where you want. So we have the cards. Let's see what juiciness comes pouring forth, right? No matter where you are, that's where you're at. It's all perfect. All right, so this one. This is a perfect card, just as they always are. Enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Only you can do you. Do you know what you've created? No, besides an intergalactically known saunter named after you, inspiration in the eyes that have watched you, hope in the minds that have admired you, and love in the hearts that have known you. But you might ease up on your sachet before someone gets hurt. Not bad, kiddo. Not bad at all. The universe. I'll read that again. Enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness. Do you know what you've created? No. Besides an intergalactically known saunter named after you. Inspiration in the eyes that have watched you, hope in the minds that have admired you, and love in the hearts that have known you. But you might ease up on your sachet before someone gets hurt. Not bad, kiddo, not bad at all. Celebrate you. If you can celebrate yourself, others might want to join you, and then they can celebrate themselves, and we can just have a huge party. Because life is about finding the joy, spreading that joy like wildfire, and living in it. I love you. Have an amazing day.